Hey everyone, it's been a while. I've been traveling and been trying to also hit 60. It's been kind of a journey and I'm almost there. I'm like at 58 right now, and it's been hard to kind of dedicate time with work to just working on these videos. What I kind of got in my backlog here and what I'm working on is the Advanced Leatherworking guide. It's taken a little bit longer than I expected. But as I kind of get to 60, I'm in that process of trying to think about how I'm going to get money for my mount. I've already saved about 300 on hand and used a lot towards investments that I'm slowly sort of introducing into the auction house and into the market now that layering's basically gone. There's been a lot of changes in terms of the market, and I've also been in the process of learning the TSN add-on and getting used to that, which I'll be probably doing in another video. But today I kind of wanted to go through a quest that is repeatable. It's one of those that, similar to the Shellfish Trapping that I did around level 40, I've kind of found around level 60, and it's been useful for getting a lot of money. So the quest that I'm going to be talking about today is called One Draenei's Junk. And the goal of this quest is to find a bunch of imperfect Draenei fragment. I'm probably butchering that. So you're looking for a Draenei that exists in the Blasted Lands. I don't ever actually remember questing a lot or doing this quest back in vanilla. So it's been really interesting to kind of learn it and kind of go through it. But I was able to get a couple of these that dropped as I was questing through the Blasted Lands. I turned it in and basically gets you a green around level 45, 48, and they're pretty decent greens. You're gonna be making anywhere between like 60 silver to about 1 gold-ish, depending on what drop. You'll probably make a little bit more. But these have a very low sort of drop rate, and that's why you don't see these a lot. Now, what I noticed is just kind of like scanning through the auction house is that there's people that I've never done this quest, or they don't want to go to the Blasted Lands and turn it in, right? So I saw a bunch of these on the auction house for about 20 silver, and I said, let me go ahead and see if I can, take advantage of these low cost and see what sort of value I can get for these. Now, you can go into the Blasted Lands and these will drop off of everything over there. It'll drop off of, the warlocks that exist there. They'll drop off of some of the boars and some of the other beasts that exist there, like the scorpions and stuff like that. And the drop rate is about 5 to 1%, depending on what sort of beast you're actually hunting. But because of that having such a low drop rate, I think that it's best to actually go ahead and take a look at the auction house to see what values exist. Now, depending on the day that's out there, you might not get these from these range, but if you're lucky, what you will see is that people might be unaware of this. They might undervalue this and they'll put it for low, and you can buy a bunch of these, head down to the Blasted Lands, turn them all in since they are repeatable, and make quite a substantial amount of money. So in this scenario, I went ahead and I bought about 8 of them that I saw around the 20 silver range, and I bought about 8 of them, so I spent about 160. And as I turn these in, you can't really see what you're gonna actually get. But, since the drops are random, I went ahead and turned all these in here. And as I calculated all of these, you'll notice that you'll get, anywhere between 47 to 74 or whatnot. I went ahead and added all of these up here. Just looking at the vendor price, I'm getting a total of about 5 gold, 92 silver, and 21 copper. Now, if I subtract the initial cost, that was 1 gold and 60 cents, 60 silver, it's leaving me with a total of about 4 gold, 32 silver, and 21 copper. So all I actually did was just buy a bunch of these on the auction house in Orgrimmar. The other thing that you can do is I like just maybe waiting and letting other people undercut each other. So I'll bid on all these, and then when I see these are like kind of flooded in the auction house, just buy them out. And all it takes is, you know, Zeppelin over to STV, you know, a quick flight path to Swamp of Sorrows, and, you know, a 2-minute walk over to the Blasted Lands, and you've made, you know, 4 gold in maybe 5 minutes of work time. So this is just an example of something I'm doing. I went ahead and I found 2 more repeatable quests similar to this style that I think you guys are going to love. Go ahead and look through your auction house. If you can get a good value for those imperfect crystals, go ahead and buy them. If I go ahead and I divide my cost that I'm making per each item, it's coming around roughly to about 50 silver. So that would be my breaking point at which I would buy the perfect crystals. The imperfect crystals, I call them perfect crystals on a side joke, because when I search for it, I actually kind of find these by looking for the perfect deviate scales, and I saw them kind of show up there, so I call them the perfect crystals, but whatever. If you do find it for under 50 silver each, I would go ahead and buy them, and you'll make that money, you know, more or less between the different drops that exist. On top of that, each of these can be sold on the auction house. If you get really good stats like of the eagle or of the monkey, you're making your money back probably in one of these items itself. So good luck on the auction house, and hopefully you guys can find some really good rates for these crystals. So keep an eye out for these other 2 guides that I'm going to be going through, as well as the leatherworking guide. The leatherworking guide is actually quite big, so I'm going to be making it into individual sections where we can go into each of the different specializations, and then what also I'm doing to make money with flipping and leatherworking.